Hey y'all, welcome to the Blue Ball Report. I'm your host, Digger. I'm going to try something new and different today. I'm traveling, so I'm beaming to you live from Central Oregon. I'm going to try to make a new Blue Ball Report this way by just going one video. Let's see how this goes, right? So let's see what's been happening this week. Lots of crazy stuff's been happening this week. I had a really interesting experience. I was walking through this small town recently, and there was these two guys sitting on the side of the sidewalk on a bench, and I started chatting to them. And one guy was a little bit, I don't know, he was either temporarily or permanently outside of sanity, and I'll just call him Bob. And he was kind of like railing, you know, as people like that sometimes do. And some of the things he was saying didn't make a whole lot of sense, but some of them did. And then this other guy he's sitting with, he starts explaining to me. So I'll call the one guy who was a little out of sanity, I'll call him Bob, and the other guy I'll call him Will. And Will seemed kind of sane for the most part, you know, cohesive. So Will starts telling me, well, Bob just had too much ayahuasca and now he thinks he's God. And I said, you know, I kind of think that actually, you know, I don't like to use the G word, because I don't believe in something that's omnipotent or judgmental or going to damn you to hell. But me personally, like I do believe in a supreme being, and I believe that supreme being is all of us and everything that we're looking at. It's all one. And so I was explaining this to Will, and I said, you know, in a sense, it's like I kind of agree with him. Like, he is God, I'm God, you're God. Everything we're looking at is God. We're all one, dude. And Will was kind of like, that's a beautiful thought. And then Will said, yeah, he also says that I'm afraid of sex. Oh, wow, I can't believe I just admitted that. And I said, why are you afraid of sex? And Will said, you know, I was raised Lutheran, so I kind of have a lot of guilt and shame about it. And I said, yeah, I can see our culture has a lot of shame about sexuality, you know? But I kind of feel like, I think it was Dan Savage who said, when someone asked him about God, he said something like, and I could be a little bit wrong here, but I think it was him that said, if you're looking for the creator, you'll find it in your pants. And I kind of agree with him on that. And it kind of took me down the road of like, and I explained to Will, I said, you know, if you're looking for the creator, you know, that's, your sexuality is the creator. That's what creates life. And your sexuality is what creates love, and what can create love and create bonds and create connection. And I feel like a lot of the major religions, right, they cut you off from your divine power, from your divine erotic power, and tell you, oh, that's bad, that stuff in your pants is bad, that's shameful and dirty. We're the ones who have the keys to the divine. Come this way. So they cut yourself off from your own divinity so that they can then sell you their access to the divine, which I think is total bullshit. And, you know, and I said, you know, it's yours. You have a right to claim it back. That's your divine erotic power. And Will sat there thinking about it a little bit. And I said, you know, and don't feel like you have to do it perfect every time. You know, it's like all the movies, you know, whether they're romantic comedies or soap operas or porn, all of them portray it as though like it's some sort of magical, mystical experience that's perfect every time. And, you know, people jump into sexual contact with each other, whether it's romantic or just, you know, animal. It's just perfect without words, and nobody needs to say anything. Everything happens perfectly. And I said to Will, I said, don't feel like it has to be like that, because that's just selling you misleading story and adding more pressure onto it and just giving you more fear that you have to perform in a certain way and you have to be perfect in a certain way. I think a lot of people feel that way. I said to him, let yourself be a kid again and enjoy it and be playful and be with a partner and have fun and explore and be like, oh, let's try this, let's try that. And, and if you fumble through it and you fart in the middle of sex, and just have a laugh because it's funny, And I said, that's one of the charms that, I remember the very first person that made me laugh in bed, and I'll never forget him. And that's one of the charms you can bring to your play with someone else, is the ability to laugh at yourself in the middle of all of it. And it's endearing to most people for several reasons. It's endearing because it shows your confidence and because you're willing to laugh at yourself. And it also kind of lets the pressure off for them, because most of us feel that pressure in this kind of culture, that everything has to be perfect, that everything has to happen without words. It's an unrealistic and unhealthy expectation to set for ourselves. And it's a real shame, I think, in our culture that we see that. We see all this talk of like consent. But when have you ever really seen in any movie, whether it's anything light and fluffy from a PG film to a romantic comedy all the way to porn, when do you see them actually modeling, talking about consent? It's just like totally lacking, So I said to Will, I was like, let yourself have fun and be a kid again, and and that will disarm the situation for you and your partner. And not everyone can laugh along with you, but if that's the case, then maybe that's not the partner for you. And he was kind of like, oh, that's a really interesting perspective. So that's the perspective I wanted to share with you today. So anyways, I'm traveling, and I'll be back next week with a regularly scheduled Blue Ball report. But this was my experiment, I want to ramble from start to finish, no editing, see how it goes. So if you like this kind of topic, then hit the like button. And I hope you'll hit the subscribe button if you like this channel. And until next week, farewell and play well. All right. Bye now.